Can you feel that gnawing frustration, that burning desire for more, even as our beloved Dirty Birds soar to new heights? We've seen flashes of brilliance, moments that ignite hope for a deep playoff run in 2025, but let's be brutally honest with ourselves. Perfection remains a distant dream. No team, no unit is flawless, and if the Atlanta Falcons truly aspire to become legitimate contenders, they must confront the glaring deficiencies that threaten to derail their championship ambitions. Today, we're not just talking about minor tweaks. We're putting on the gloves, diving deep into the trenches, and dissecting the critical problems that demand immediate solutions if the Falcons are to transform potential into palpable glory. The defensive side of the ball, often lauded as the bedrock of this team, holds a surprising Achilles heel: the run defense. While the Falcons boast a statistically impressive defense, ranking number 1 in the NFL in terms of yards per game and absolutely stifling opposing passing attacks, a closer look reveals a vulnerability that savvy opponents are already exploiting. We're currently sitting at a concerning 17th in the league against the run, a statistic that stands in stark contrast to our overall defensive prowess. Remember that humbling 30-0 defeat at the hands of the Carolina Panthers? Or the recent Buffalo Bills game, where momentum shifted as they consistently gashed our defense for 5, 6, even 7-yard runs? The tape doesn't lie, and it's screaming one undeniable truth. The Falcons are desperately lacking that dominating physical tree stump, that big-bodied human being on the defensive line who can simply plug up the middle. Consider a crucial snapshot from that Bills game, a stereotypical 7-man or 6-man front that the Dirty Birds often deploy. You see Arnold and Onyemata, then a spread-out line of defenders: Caden Ellis, David Onyemata, Jalen Walker D, Alfred, all lined up on the edge, designed for angled attacks to confuse quarterbacks and generate pass rush. And make no mistake, our pass rush has been nothing short of phenomenal. Rook or Hororo, despite not playing as many snaps as some other interior linemen, leads the NFL in QB pressure rates, boasting an unbelievable 15.5% interior pressure rate. The Falcons as a whole rank 6th in the league in quarterback pressure rate at 39.9% and 3rd in sack percentage at 8.9%. Rushing the quarterback is clearly not the issue. However, in that very same Bills formation, a gaping hole emerges, an inviting pathway for any offense committed to the run. In a zone scheme blocking, which the Bills' offense favors, those spread-out defenders create far too many gaps, leaving the heart of our defensive line exposed. This, in my opinion, was a significant factor in why the Falcons were gashed on the first drive of the second half against Buffalo. We need a player who doesn't necessarily need to be a sack artist, someone who can simply solidify the defensive line, a true nose tackle type. If such a player recorded 1.5 sacks in an entire season, I'd be ecstatic, because their primary role isn't to chase the quarterback, but to anchor the middle and shut down the run. Intriguingly, 2 names have surfaced as potential trade candidates for these traditional nose tackle types, or more accurately, hybrid defensive tackles who can play that crucial nose tackle role. While true old-school nose tackles are a rarity in today's NFL, these players offer the versatility we need. Jeffrey Simmons is undoubtedly the more electrifying talent, a truly intriguing prospect. However, after speaking with our rather ugly Tennessee Titans host, it's clear Simmons is practically untouchable, considered the best player on their roster. That leaves us with the other name floated by multiple sources, including Adam Schefter, Shelby Harris. The fact that Harris was listed as the only defensive tackle trade candidate strongly suggests the Cleveland Browns are actively shopping him. They've drafted younger talent, like Mason Graham from Michigan, who has done an excellent job solidifying their defensive line, making Harris expendable. Shelby Harris, at 34 years old, isn't the same player he was in his prime with Denver or at the start of his career with the Raiders. His stats this season, 8 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, might not jump off the page. But here's the critical detail. His run-stopping grade is a very respectable 72.0. This is a player we could acquire for a very cheap price, perhaps a 6th or 7th round pick, and he could still provide solid rotational production. He wouldn't be a starter, but his physical presence alone would be invaluable in plugging those critical holes on our defensive line. While I'd love to see Brandon Dorless or David Onyemata step into that thumper role, or even a practice squad call-up, if we want guaranteed game-in, game-out production to solidify our run defense, Shelby Harris is the guy. He understands defensive fronts better than almost anyone in the league, thanks to his age and extensive experience. He's been a consistent 13 to 14 game-a-year player throughout his career, and that veteran savvy could be precisely what the Atlanta Falcons need to shore up their defensive front. A conditional 6th or 7th round pick for a rental. Absolutely, let's make that trade. Before we shift our focus to the offensive side of the ball, let me take a moment to talk about our presenting sponsor, HelloFresh. As the cooler nights of fall settle in, bringing with them a craving for heartier, more satisfying meals, HelloFresh has truly stepped up their game. This season, they've unveiled their biggest menu refresh yet, offering a whole new way to approach dinner. It's healthier, with an expanded menu packed with high-protein and veggie-rich recipes, including new options featuring 2 or more vegetables. It's tastier, delivering steak and seafood recipes every single week at no extra cost. In fact, there's 3 times more seafood on the menu now. A remarkable 91% of customers report feeling healthier when eating with HelloFresh, proving that the best way to cook just got even better. Head over to HelloFresh.com/FalconsChat10FM right now to claim 10 free meals, plus a free item for life with an active subscription. That's HelloFresh.com/FalconsChat10FM for an incredible offer. Thank you, HelloFresh, for making healthy, delicious meals so accessible. Now, let's talk offense, because if the defensive line has a glaring hole, our wide receiver core has an equally obvious void: the desperate need for a true second option. I can hear some of you saying, but what about Darnell Mooney? And you're right. When healthy, Mooney has the potential to be one of the best number 3 receivers in the league, a fantastic complement to Michael Penix, and a solid option to elevate this Falcons offense. However, he's been battling injuries, and his absence has highlighted a critical dependency. Consider the recent game against the Bills. Penix attempted 32 passes. A staggering 16 of those targets went to Drake London. Another 8 went to our running back. That means 23 of 32 targets were funneled to just 2 players. Kyle Pitts received 4 targets, and our next wide receiver, Casey Washington, saw a mere 2. What does this tell us, Falcons fans? When your next wide receiver after your primary option is only getting 2 targets, you have a major problem. It's time to make a trade. And speaking of trades, let's address the curious case of Ray McCloud. I'm still scratching my head over his healthy scratch against the Buffalo Bills, especially when our number 2 option, Mooney, was already ruled out. 20 minutes before the game, the announcement came: McCloud, a healthy scratch. Why would a coach make such a move? My honest opinion, based on years of watching football, is that when players are healthy scratches or don't practice without a clear injury, it often signals an impending move. He's being kept healthy for a trade package. So, who could be that game-changing second option? The name that has been buzzing around the NFL ether, most recently from our trusted source, Slick Rick, who boasts a plus 70% hit rate, just so you know, is Jaylen Waddle. The Miami Dolphins are reportedly actively shopping him. Imagine this: Raheem Morris, Terry Fontenot get on the phone. Arthur Blank, sign that check. Jaylen Waddle, Drake London, Darnell Mooney. Just let that trio marinate in your mind for a moment. The sheer explosive potential, the ability to stretch defenses, the options it would open up for Penix, and the entire offense, it would be absolutely ballistic. This is why I firmly believe the Falcons should make a trade for a wide receiver. Now, the million-dollar question remains: should the Falcons prioritize a trade for a defensive tackle to shore up the run defense, or a wide receiver to ignite the passing game? Both are critical needs, and the impact of either move would be substantial. Personally, I'd be okay with both, but if I had to type my teeth for trades, I'd say the Dirty Birds need to be aggressive on both fronts. As we wrap up this deep dive into the Falcons' critical needs, remember that the path to true playoff contention is paved with strategic decisions and bold moves. Addressing these vulnerabilities isn't just about fixing problems, It's about unlocking the full, championship-caliber potential of this team. The vision is clear, the talent is there. But the missing pieces must be acquired. What do you think, Falcons faithful? Which trade would make the bigger impact for our Dirty Birds? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to smash that like button if you found this analysis insightful. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button to join our growing community of 42,000 strong. Become a smarter Falcons football fan by staying tuned to all our exclusive breakdowns and updates. Until next time, stay cool, and let's keep the conversation going.